JCole just dropped the most devastating announcement of his entire career. People are saying this could be his final album, and the internet is absolutely losing it. This whole situation has hip-hop spinning because Cole just revealed a 10-year secret that changes everything we thought we knew about him. Everybody thought they knew JCole. The humble North Carolina kid who made it big, the conscious rapper who stayed drama-free, the family man who moved to Fayetteville and lived a quiet life. That was the version everyone repeated for years, the safe narrative, the comfortable story. But now, everything just shifted. February 6th, 2026, that's the date. Mark it down because Cole just announced the fall-off is finally dropping after a brutal decade of work. And when I say brutal, I mean this man has been suffering in silence, pouring every ounce of his soul into this project while the world had no idea what he was going through. The announcement alone sent shockwaves, but then Cole dropped 2 tracks that have people sobbing, screaming, questioning everything. Because this isn't just music anymore. This is a confession, a revelation, a man exposing wounds so deep that fans are now realizing we never really knew JCole at all. The whole narrative is twisting right before our eyes. Let me break down exactly what Cole just unleashed on the world, because this is where things get insane. First track, Port Antonio. And listen, this isn't your typical rap song. Cole literally raps his entire life backwards. I'm talking starting from his death in a hearse and rewinding through every major moment until he disappears at birth. The concept alone is mind-blowing, but it's the lyrics that have people absolutely destroyed. I first appeared in a hearse. 6 words. That's all it took to send the internet into a complete meltdown, because Cole isn't playing around here. He's starting his story at the end, in a funeral car, and working backwards through his entire existence. Think about how dark that is, how heavy that concept hits when you really process it. But it gets even crazier. As Cole raps backwards through his life, he hits these moments that are so brutally honest that fans are literally crying while listening. He talks about watching his kids grow younger, his marriage rewinding, his fame disappearing, his struggles fading, and then he drops the line that broke the internet. I watched my father walk back in my life, and it clears up a hurt I couldn't explain. Now, in reverse, that means his father walked out, left him, abandoned him with a wound so devastating that Cole has carried silently for his entire career. Fans online turned into investigators immediately, digging through every old interview, every lyric, every subtle reference Cole ever made about his father. And people are discovering that Cole has been hiding this pain behind his success for years. The Reddit threads are going crazy right now. Fans are slowing down frames of the Port Antonio video, zooming in on every detail, analyzing every symbolic choice. And for anyone who doesn't know, Cole directed this video himself, which means every single shot is intentional. In the video, you can clearly see toys scattered in the background during the fatherhood verse. Online detectives took this to a new level, studying those toys like they on some CSI mission. They started examining the types of toys, the placement, the lighting, and folks online swear these represent Cole's lost childhood, the innocence his father stole when he walked out. Then there's the wedding ring moment. In one frame, Cole is wearing his ring. In the next, it's gone. Fans are panicking about what this means for his marriage. Is this symbolic? Is this real? Is Cole going through something we don't know about? The speculation is wild right now. TMZ hasn't officially covered this yet, but social media is absolutely buzzing. Twitter trending topics have been dominated by Cole for 48 hours straight. TikTok videos analyzing every bar are getting millions of views. Instagram comment sections are turning into therapy sessions as fans share their own father wound stories. And honestly, that's the power of what Cole just did. He didn't just drop a song, he opened a collective wound that so many people carry but never talk about. The absence of a father, the unexplainable hurt, the way that pain shapes everything you become. But let's talk about the technical skill for a second, because this is where Cole is flexing on a level most rappers could never reach. Rapping an entire life story backwards while maintaining perfect rhyme schemes, internal rhymes, and storytelling coherence? That's insane. Fans are calling this the most technically impressive rap performance they've ever heard. One Twitter user broke down the syllable count and rhyme patterns. Apparently, Cole is hitting multi-syllabic rhymes every 2 to 3 bars while also maintaining the reverse chronology. That's like solving a Rubik's Cube while writing poetry. The level of skill required is absurd. And then there's the second track, the one where Cole comes out aggressive. After years of being labeled boring or too conscious or getting disrespected in rap debates, Cole dropped a track that essentially says, "I'm done being nice. Who the fuck is you? Out the way is a real nigga coming through." That line alone has people saying Cole is entering his villain era. No more apologies, no more backing down, no more playing it safe. This is Cole saying he's about to dominate and everyone else needs to move. The energy shift is real. Fans are comparing this to when Kendrick dropped The Heart Part 5 or when Drake went into back-to-back mode. It's that level of intensity, that feeling of, okay, somebody is about to get destroyed. But here's what makes this even more powerful. Cole isn't just talking tough, he's backing it up with the announcement that this will be his best work. Not good, not great, the best. After 2014 Forest Hills Drive, after For Your Eyes Only, after COD, after everything he's already accomplished, Cole is saying this is the peak. That's a massive claim, and it puts immense pressure on February 6th because now anything less than perfection will be seen as failure. Cole just raised the stakes to a level where there's no middle ground. This album will either cement him as one of the greatest to ever do it, or it'll be the beginning of his fall from grace. And that title, The Fall Off, is that a warning? Is Cole predicting his own decline, or is this him saying he's been watching everyone else fall off while he perfected his craft? The ambiguity is killing people right now. Now let's get into the motive behind this album, because this is where everything starts clicking into place and you realize just how deep Cole's pain actually goes. JCole has been working on The Fall Off for 10 years, a full decade. Think about that timeline. 2016, that's when this allegedly started. Cole was at the peak of his powers. 2014 Forest Hills Drive had just gone platinum with no features. He was being called one of the best rappers alive. He had everything. But apparently, that success wasn't enough to fill the void inside him. Sources close to Cole's camp are allegedly revealing that this album nearly never happened. Industry insiders claim Cole suffered multiple breakdowns during the creation process. We're talking about a man who was so obsessed with perfection that he would scrap entire versions of the album because they weren't good enough. One alleged engineer who worked on early sessions described Cole as obsessed to the point of self-destruction, reportedly working 72-hour sessions without sleep, isolating himself from friends and family, pushing everyone away because the music consumed him. And why? What would drive someone to that level of obsession? The father wound. Let's keep it real. When your father abandons you, it creates a hole that nothing can fill. Not success, not money, not fame, not even love from others. Because there's something about a father's validation that hits different. And when you never get it, you spend your entire life trying to prove yourself worthy. That's what Cole has been doing. Every album, every verse, every accolade, it's all been an attempt to fill that void, to prove that he was worth staying for, to show his father, look what you missed, look what you walked away from. But here's the devastating truth. No amount of success can heal that wound, and I think Cole finally realized that, which is why this album exists. Fans have been digging through Cole's entire discography looking for clues, and they're finding them everywhere. On For Your Eyes Only, there's a line, "My father was a fuck-up, I ain't nothing like him." On KOD, he raps about generational trauma and cycles of pain. On The Off Season, he talks about being motivated by people who doubted him. It's all connected. Every album has been building to this moment, this confession, this reckoning with the pain he's been carrying. But it gets even deeper when you consider Cole's public image. He's always been the humble rapper, the one who moved back to North Carolina, the one who stays out of drama, the one who doesn't flex or show off. People praised him for that, called him real, said he was different from other rappers. But what if that humility wasn't a choice? What if it was a defense mechanism? What if Cole stayed humble because deep down, he didn't feel worthy of celebration, didn't feel like he deserved to be cocky or confident because his own father didn't think he was worth sticking around for? That hits different when you think about it like that. And now, Cole is at a crossroads. He's 40 years old, he's accomplished everything in hip-hop, he's got a family, he's got legacy, but he still has this wound. And The Fall Off is him finally confronting it head-on instead of running from it.
The announcement itself was chilling when you read between the lines. Cole said, "I had no way of knowing how much time, focus, and energy it would eventually take, but I knew in my heart I would one day get to the finish line." Finish line. That phrase has people terrified because in the context of someone rapping about their life ending in a hearse, finish line sounds like Cole might be saying this is his final statement, his last album, his goodbye to hip-hop. Fans are divided on this. Some think Cole is just talking about finishing the album. Others think he's hinting at retirement. Some even think, and this is dark, that Cole might be in a really bad mental space, and this album is his way of processing something serious. The speculation is getting intense. But let's talk about the pressure Cole is under right now. He just declared this will be his best work. That means he's competing against himself at his peak, against Forest Hills Drive, which is considered a modern classic, against KOD, which was critically acclaimed, against every feature verse where he bodied other rappers. That's an insane amount of pressure, and Cole put it on himself, which tells you how confident he is, or how desperate he is to prove something. Meanwhile, the rap game has changed dramatically in the past 10 years. New artists have emerged, styles have evolved, the Kendrick versus Drake beef happened, and Cole got caught in the middle. People started questioning his place in the Big Three conversation. Some fans even turned on him after he apologized for the 7-minute drill diss. So Cole isn't just dealing with internal demons, he's also dealing with external pressure to prove he still belongs at the top, to show that he's not boring, to demonstrate that conscious rap can still dominate in an era of rage beats and melodic flows. Put all that together, and you've got the perfect recipe for either the greatest album of his career or a complete disaster that ends his legacy. There's no in-between anymore. Cole eliminated that possibility when he made this announcement. He went all in, and now we're all waiting to see if he can deliver.
But here's the part that really hits different, and this is what separates Cole's story from just another album rollout. This isn't about rap beef. This isn't about sales numbers or chart positions. This is about a man confronting the deepest pain of his existence and doing it in front of millions of people. That takes a level of vulnerability that most artists would never even attempt. Think about what Cole is actually doing here. He's taking the one thing that has probably caused him the most shame, the most hurt, the most insecurity, and he's turning it into art. He's exposing the wound that he's spent decades hiding. The father who abandoned him, the void that nothing could fill, the pain that drove every decision he ever made. That's terrifying. Because once you say it out loud, once you put it in a song that millions will hear, you can't take it back. The vulnerability is permanent. The exposure is forever. And for someone like Cole, who has built his entire career on being private and controlled, this is the ultimate risk. He's breaking his own rules, tearing down the walls he spent years building, letting people see the broken parts he always kept hidden. Fans are responding to this in ways that go beyond typical music reactions. Comment sections are filled with people sharing their own father wound stories, talking about abandonment, about absent parents, about the unexplainable hurt that shapes who you become. Cole created a space where people feel safe to be vulnerable because he was vulnerable first. One fan wrote, "I never understood why I worked so hard to prove myself until I heard Cole rap about his father. Now it all makes sense. I've been trying to show my dad I was worth staying for my entire life." That's powerful. That's the kind of emotional connection that transcends music. It becomes therapy. It becomes healing. It becomes a mirror that people see themselves in. But there's also a sadness to all of this. Because even though Cole is creating this beautiful art from his pain, the pain is still there. Rapping about it doesn't make it disappear. Success doesn't heal it. Money doesn't fix it. The wound remains. And I think that's what the hearse opening represents. No matter how successful Cole becomes, no matter how many albums he sells, no matter how many people call him great, he still ends up in that hearse. We all do. And the question becomes, did you heal before you got there? Did you confront your demons? Did you find peace? Cole is searching for that peace through this album,
You can hear it in every bar. The desperation, the hope, the fear, the determination. He's not just making music, he's trying to save himself. And that's what makes February 6th so critical. This isn't just an album release, it's a moment of reckoning for JCole. Either this album helps him find the peace he's been searching for, or it proves that some wounds are too deep to heal. The stakes couldn't be higher. Not for his career, for his soul.
Now let's dive even deeper into the clues Cole has been dropping, because the more you analyze this announcement and these tracks, the more layers you discover. The Port Antonio video is loaded with symbolism that fans are just now starting to decode. Every single frame has meaning, every location choice, every visual element. And when you piece it all together, it paints a picture that's even more devastating than the lyrics alone. Port Antonio is a town in Jamaica. Cole has Jamaican heritage through his mother, so immediately there's this connection to roots, to origin, to where he comes from. But here's what's interesting. Cole is wrapping his life backwards in a place that represents his beginning. That's intentional. He's literally going back to the source while rewinding his entire existence. In the video, Cole starts in a hearse. The camera's tight, claustrophobic, dark. You can barely see his face. The lighting is deliberately oppressive. It feels like being buried alive. That's the emotional tone Cole is setting from the first frame. As the video progresses and Cole raps backwards through his life, the setting changes. The hearse becomes a car. The car becomes a home. The home becomes a studio. Each location represents a different era of his life, but they're all tinged with this melancholy, this sense of loss. Even the happy moments feel sad because you know how the story ends, in that hearse, alone. Bands have been doing frame-by-frame analysis of the video, and they're finding details that are absolutely crushing. In one scene where Cole is rapping about fatherhood, there's a toy truck in the background. But it's not just any toy truck, it's upside down. Fans believe this represents Cole's relationship with his own father being flipped or broken. Another scene shows Cole removing his wedding ring. The camera lingers on his hand for just a second longer than necessary. That's a choice. That's Cole saying, pay attention to this, and people are freaking out about what it means. Is his marriage in trouble? Is this symbolic of him removing commitments to focus on music? Or is this deeper, representing how his father's abandonment affected his ability to commit to relationships? The speculation is endless right now. But let's talk about the second track for a minute, because this is where Cole shows a completely different side. While Port Antonio is vulnerable and introspective, this track is aggressive, confident, almost angry. It's like Cole is saying, yes, I have pain, but I'm also a problem for anyone who doubts me. The beat is hard, bass-heavy, menacing, the complete opposite of the melancholic vibe of Port Antonio, and Cole's flow is relentless. He's rapping with the energy of someone who has something to prove, someone who is done being underestimated. Bands are comparing this track to some of Cole's most aggressive verses, A Lot with 21 Savage, The Middle Child, The Climb Back. But this feels different. This feels personal, like Cole isn't just flexing for the sake of flexing. He's addressing everyone who ever doubted him, everyone who left him out of the best rapper conversation. One line that's getting particular attention, out the way, it's a real nigga coming through. That's Cole essentially saying, move, I'm about to dominate and you don't want to be in my path. The confidence is striking, especially when contrasted with the vulnerability of Port Antonio. It's like Cole is showing both sides of himself, the wounded child and the confident artist, the pain and the power, the vulnerability and the aggression. And that duality is what makes this announcement so compelling. Cole isn't just showing one dimension, he's showing the full spectrum of human emotion, the complexity, the contradictions, the way you can be broken and strong at the same time. Online detectives have been analyzing Cole's social media activity leading up to this announcement, and they've found some interesting patterns. Cole went almost completely silent for months. No posts, no features, no public appearances, complete radio silence. And now fans are realizing he was in the cave, working, perfecting, suffering through the creation process. One fan created a timeline showing that Cole's last significant public appearance was almost 8 months ago. 8 months of nothing,
And then suddenly this announcement drops out of nowhere. That's calculated. That's Cole building anticipation without even trying. The silence created mystery. The mystery created demand. There are also theories about the February 6th date. Some fans believe Cole chose this date specifically because it's exactly 40 days after his birthday. In numerology, 40 is often associated with transformation, trial, and testing. It's the number of days Jesus spent in the desert, the number of days of rain in Noah's flood. It represents a period of preparation before something major. Whether Cole intentionally chose this date for that reason or not, fans are convinced there's deeper meaning. That February 6th isn't just a release date, it's a symbolic moment, a transformation, a rebirth, or, potentially, an ending. The finish line language in Cole's announcement keeps coming back to haunt people, because when you combine that phrase with the hearse imagery, with the reverse life story, with the 10-year journey, it really does feel like Cole is building towards something final. Is this his last album? Is he retiring after this? Is he planning to step away from music to focus on family? Or is this just the end of one chapter and the beginning of another? Nobody knows, and that uncertainty is driving people crazy with speculation.
Now, this whole situation gets even crazier when you realize the timing of this announcement in the broader context of hip-hop right now. The rap game is in a weird place in 2026. Kendrick and Drake just went through one of the most intense beefs in hip-hop history. The fallout from that is still affecting the culture. Fans are divided, loyalties were tested, the entire landscape shifted, and Cole was right in the middle of it. He dropped 7-minute drill going at Kendrick and then apologized. That apology was one of the most controversial moments in recent hip-hop history. Some people respected it, called it mature, said Cole was being the bigger person. Others saw it as weak, said Cole backed down, claimed he didn't have the heart for real beef. That criticism has followed Cole ever since, people questioning his toughness, his willingness to compete at the highest level, his place in the Big Three conversation. And you can feel that in this new announcement. You can sense that Cole is addressing those criticisms without directly mentioning them. The aggressive track is basically Cole saying, "You thought I was soft? You thought I couldn't compete? Watch what happens on February 6th. It's a delayed response to all the doubt and disrespect he's received. Meanwhile, other rappers are watching this announcement closely. Because if Cole delivers on his promise, if this really is his best work, then everyone else is going to have to respond. The bar will be raised, the competition will intensify. Cole might force the entire industry to level up. There's also the business side to consider. Cole earns his masters. He's independent in many ways. He's built Dreamville into a legitimate label with multiple successful artists. He's made smart moves that give him creative control and financial freedom. So when he says this album took 10 years, that's because he could afford to take 10 years. He wasn't pressured by a label. He wasn't forced to rush. He had the luxury of perfecting his vision. That's rare in hip-hop. Most artists are on label timelines, release schedules, market demands. But Cole has positioned himself where he can move on his own terms, and that freedom is what allowed the fall-off to become what it is. Fans have also been discussing Cole's legacy in these past few days. Where does he rank all time? Is he top 10? Top 20? Does this album change his positioning? If the fall-off is truly his best work, does that push him into the undeniable top tier? The debates are intense. Cole has always been in this weird position where hardcore fans consider him one of the greatest ever, but casual fans sometimes overlook him. He's not as flashy as Drake, not as aggressive as Kendrick, not as controversial as Kanye. He's the quiet one, the boring one, the one who gets respect but not always excitement. But this announcement changed that. Suddenly, Cole is the most exciting topic in hip-hop. Everyone is talking about him. Everyone is anticipating February 6th. Everyone is wondering if he can actually deliver on this massive promise. And honestly, that's exactly what Cole needed. A moment that forces people to pay attention. A moment that reminds everyone why he's been considered one of the best for over a decade. A moment that shifts the narrative from, is Cole still relevant, to Cole might be about to drop the album of the decade. The momentum is real right now. And this story is still unfolding with way bigger implications than just one album release. What we're seeing here is how an artist can use vulnerability as power, how exposing your deepest wounds can actually make you stronger, how honesty can be the ultimate form of competition. The bigger conversation is about mental health in hip-hop. For decades, rappers were expected to be tough, invincible, emotionless. Showing vulnerability was seen as weakness. Admitting pain was career suicide. But artists like Cole are changing that. They're showing that you can be both vulnerable and powerful. That acknowledging your trauma doesn't make you less of an artist, it makes you more relatable, more human, more real. When you constantly hide your pain behind bravado and materialism, you're not just protecting yourself, you're unintentionally creating a barrier between you and your audience. People can't connect with perfection, they connect with struggle, with pain, with the messy, complicated reality of being human. Cole's announcement is a wild example of this, but it's also a warning for anybody with a platform. The more you build your image on being invincible, the harder you fall when cracks start showing. But if you show the cracks from the beginning, if you make vulnerability part of your brand, then there's nothing to hide, nothing to fear, no secrets that can destroy you. The industry is watching this closely, because if Cole succeeds, if this album is everything he says it will be, then it proves that authenticity wins, that being real about your struggles is more powerful than any manufactured image, that fans want truth, not perfection. And that could change everything about how artists approach their careers moving forward. February 6, 2026 will either be remembered as the day JCole became immortal or the day he destroyed his own legacy. There's no middle ground anymore. Cole has raised the stakes so high that anything less than perfection will be seen as failure. And based on his own words about reaching the finish line, fans are terrified this might be his final statement before he walks away forever. The hearse imagery, the reverse life story, the 10-year journey, the best work claim, it all points to this being Cole's magnum opus, his final statement, his way of saying this is everything I had to give. The clock is ticking, the pressure is crushing, and JCole has 17 days to either save or end his career. The entire hip-hop world is holding its breath, waiting, watching, wondering if Cole can actually pull off what might be the most ambitious album concept in rap history. This is it. This is the moment that defines JCole's legacy forever.
What do you think? Is JCole about to drop the greatest album of all time? Or is this the beginning of his fall-off? Drop your theories below because this is about to get insane. Like this video, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what happens next on February 6th. Hip-hop will never be the same after this drops. Stay safe out there.